today's show is all about celebrating those wonderful berries that we have in the summer. Strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, whatever looks good at the farmer's market or at the grocery store. And Lindsay Brooks is here from Runaway Spoon. Good morning. Good to see you.
Amy, thank you.
You know, I'm real excited about this because I'm always trying to come up with new wonderful muffin recipes. And, you know, why not use some of those berries in something other than pies and desserts?
I'm the same way. You know, if I'm going to the farmer's market and something's going to catch my eye, these beautiful fresh strawberries right now, or the berries that come into season very shortly, I have to pick them up. And now I have to figure out what to do with them after I buy them. So making muffins is something really easy. You can throw together in the morning or even at night. It's kind of a nice little dessert with a little cup of tea or coffee after dinner. So this recipe is one of my favorites. It's a little bit healthier based. It's buttered milk and it's got oatmeal in it. And then you toss in those fresh berries and you just kind of bake it until it's just barely done. So
warm muffins out of the oven. Is there anything better? Oh, I don't think so. Okay, so put me to work here.
Yeah, muffins, this particular recipe and most of my muffin recipes, you don't want to overmix. So you just have a spatula and a bowl and it's just going to throw it all together until it just comes together. So we're going to start out with our dry ingredients, which is regular flour, oatmeal, and a little bit of sugar.
Okay.
There's salt and baking powder here as well.
So we're using just the oatmeal that you'd use, you know, do you need to use the instant type? Or?
I prefer to use the old-fashioned rolled oats, but instant will work. So whatever one you have in your cupboard, go ahead and work with. Okay,
so sugar, flour, oats, a pinch of salt.
Pinch of salt.
And baking powder?
Baking powder, yep.
Baking powder.
Baking powder.
Okay.
You want to just give that a little mix.
Okay.
And then our wet ingredients is going to be buttermilk, just a quarter of a cup of canola oil, and then 1 egg.
Okay.
So you can throw that in. I'm just going to clean up a couple strawberries. I've got blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries here with a few strawberries.
Now, why use buttermilk, and if you don't have it, what can you use instead if you don't want to run out to the store and get it?
Buttermilk kind of gives it a little bit more weight and it gives it a little bit more flavor. And then if you don't have buttermilk, go ahead and use your regular half and half or whole milk. Put a teaspoon of lemon juice into it and it'll kind of naturally curdle itself.
Okay, good tip. Although nowadays, which is really nice, they sell buttermilk in littler containers, you know. So used to be you'd have to buy the big half a gallon. And it's like, what are you going to do with all that?
Yeah, so you're going to mix that just until it comes together. My muffin batters are pretty soft.
Okay.
Again, keeping them pretty moist and dense when they actually come out of the oven.
But never a mixer when it comes to muffins.
No. And that looks good, Amy. What I'm going to have you do is just toss these about a cup and a half or so of berries.
So lots of berries in here.
Lots of berries going to this one. And I'll have you just kind of give that a nice little fold. Spray your muffin pan. Go ahead and you can fill the muffin pan. But I like to always have a kind of a streusel topping.
Me too. Me too.
It's kind of like that deadly part that, you know, a little extra butter, a little extra sugar. So we're going to go with equal parts just regular butter, unsalted butter, to flour, to oatmeal, and to brown sugar.
And that's optional. You don't have to do that. You could even just
not.
sprinkle some extra sugar on top.
Yep, that works too. And so all I'm going to do is just take a fork and kind of mash up those butter pieces with my sugar and oats here. For muffins, you always want to bake them at a higher temperature. You want to get a really nice toasty golden brown outside, but you want that center to be just barely cooked. So I typically bake all my muffins at 400 degrees, and then I do the toothpick test to know when they're done, which is about maybe 10-15 minutes depending on your oven.
That's a great tip because like cupcakes, you know, you don't want them dried out.
No, it's something you really need to watch your leeway as far as over baking to under baking is really only a minute or so. So you want to keep a close eye on them when they're in the oven.
And you can see this made in exactly a dozen.
A dozen, yep.
Perfect.
And any berries will work, but you do want fresh berries. If you have frozen berries, they're going to leak out a little too much juice to them, and the muffins actually won't set up the way they need to. But any fresh berries, so if it's just blueberries or just strawberries, or if you're able to have a nice mix, I like the color of them as well.
Yeah, and the flavor. So our streusel topping, my favorite part.
Yep. All right. And this is where you get your hands dirty.
Yep, just kind of get in there.
Yep. And chunks of butter in the topping is actually really good.
I agree.
You kind of, it melts into the muffin and you have a really kind of rich muffin.
Every time we have you on the show, people say, how can I get a hold of her? Lindsay is known for the most amazing, gorgeous wedding cakes and pastries. She does a lot of desserts for a lot of different restaurants. She also caters, you know, full-on parties with hors d'oeuvres, or just will do some baking for you if you just need a bunch of muffins or pies or whatever.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
So how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, so we have a store. Well, we don't have actually a store, but our kitchen is located in De Pere. It's 129 North Broadway in East De Pere. We can stop in and place orders there, but we don't have a retail section where you could pick anything up, but you can stop in and place orders. You can go to our website at runspoon.com. You can always give us a call, though, too, and just ask any questions, and we're there to help you out.
Wonderful. So these, again, 400 degrees. Bake time on these, Lindsay, was about how long?
10 to 15 minutes. I normally check them at 12, depending on what your oven might be. Typically, you know, when they get a little golden brown, the berries pop open and get a little bit of juice to them.
Ooh, I can hardly wait to dig in.
Great.
And you can see the oats on top. Yum, yum, yum. Recipe we'll put on our website. Coming up, we're going to make strawberry tea cakes, and later Lindsay's going to make a salad with fresh berries, cucumber, and quinoa. Is that?
Quinoa, yeah.
Ooh, that's the in new food. So stick around. We'll be back.